and we're still here. Not too much. No, didn't say that much. Field of America Award for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in a Dramatic Series.
So wordy with these nominations.
They are. I mean, if you look at all the awards shows like that, though.
Yeah.
You know, what was it? We're talking about special effects and supporting role.
Supporting special effects or whatever.
Weird stuff like that. There's always, especially these lesser known awards programs. The Oscars have, best movie, best director.
Nobody wins. You can't win an Oscar. It's always the Oscar goes to.
The Oscar is awarded. That's right. You don't actually win it. You receive it.
That's right. See, it's not a lottery. They don't choose them by lot. They actually vote. So you're awarded the award, not the award.
Yeah, someone decides to give it to you.
It's like winning something on eBay. You didn't win anything.
Yeah.
You purchased it.
A committee of people decide to give you the award. That's right. All right. So Frank Darabont for the Directors Guild of America Award. Unfortunately, he did not win.
Oh, Martin Scorsese.
The award went to Martin Scorsese for Boardwalk Empire. Now, this is the second time since we've been talking about awards that Boardwalk Empire beat The Walking Dead in something. Yeah, Golden Globes was the first time, just 2 weeks ago. So I've got to check out this Boardwalk Empire.
You really do. It's quite a good television show.
Well, and it's winning all the awards and taking away from shows like Mad Men and Walking Dead, which I think are both excellent.
I don't know about that. That implies as a loser.
If there's no winner, there can't be a
That's
loser.
correct.
Okay,
If I
fine.
lose an Oscar,
But maybe people decide not to.
you were nominated, but you did not receive the award. All right. That means that doesn't belittle the show in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't belittle Frank Darabont's outstanding directorial achievement in a dramatic series. It's just he didn't win. Sorry, use the word tonight.
Yeah.
Bad Jason. He didn't receive the award. Martin Scorsese did.
Okay,
Probably
fine.
well deserved. It's a really good show.
Martin Scorsese for Boardwalk Empire. Hopefully, though, I would like to see Walking Dead take something eventually.
Yes, that sounds
award. Speaking of awards, it has been nominated for more. In fact, 4 Golden Reel nominations from the Motion Picture Sound Editors. That's
Okay.
the MPSE. That's the Guild, I guess, of Motion Picture Sound
And they
Editors.
have Golden Reel awards.
They have Golden Reel awards. Walking Dead's nominated for 4. The nominations are Best Sound Editing, Long Form Dialogue, and ADR Intelligent.
Oh, Lord.
Speaking of being wordy, Best Sound Editing, Long Form Sound Effects, and Foley Intelligent.
Okay.
And then the same Short Form Dialogue and ADR, and Short Form Sound Effects and Foley
Do you have
Intelligent.
any idea what the difference between long form dialogue and short form dialogue?
No, I really don't.
The size of the words? If you use different body weight, is that long form?
No, it's probably the. Well, I don't know. I mean, would it make sense that it's simply the length of? Do they look at individual scenes in the show and decide if it's under a minute, it's short form, if it's over a minute, it's long form?
I don't know. I was asking you.
All right. Well, I don't know. I didn't have time to look it up, but suffice to say, The Walking Dead is nominated in those 4 categories.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a full years. I always thought that'd be great. Just kind of walk on the gravel, and choose their hands and walk on the gravel.
Yeah.
You know, when people get their heads cut off, you just smack a cabbage. That's also good for fist punching.
Smack cabbage with what? Like baseball bat?
Yeah, you smack a cabbage with something. It sounds like that's where the sound comes from. People's heads exploding.
Really?
Yeah. You punch meat to get the for fist fights.
That,
All good
that
stuff.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're doing in fist fight, punching meat.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I always thought getting full years would be quite entertaining.
That would be fun, I suppose. You're not the guy. You're not the guy sort of inventing new ways to make sound effects. You're actually executing them.
That's right.
Yes. Cool. That's fun.
Yeah. So you got a movie plan, right? And you're in a sound studio, and you have all this various crap. You have little pieces of wood, you have cabbage fruit, whatever you need to make that sound. As they're walking down the street, you make the sounds for exactly when a foot falls. You have to make the sound of footfalls.
Well, you make a sound and then you can sync later,
Well,
probably.
you do it. You're watching a movie while you're doing it, and you're doing it in sync.
Well, why would it be so important to do in sync? Can't they just sync it later? Like you do it in sync, and it's kind of a rough outline of the sound.
Well, no, because say you were off, you're before the sound for half the scene, and you're after the sound for the other half the scene. We take a lot of work to sync. I'm sure there is a little bit of play there, but a good full yard is to do one take. You get the sound, thank you very much, move on to the next scene. There's a lot of foley to go into a movie or a television show.
Well, yeah, certainly a movie. 2 hours long. You got to stand there doing that. Sounds fun though.
Good job.
Sounds like it takes a lot of skill.
I hope they get the awards for the foley stuff.
Well, the other nominees in these categories include Lost, The Tudors, True Blood, and Pacific. So we'll see. I must admit, I do often notice the score in productions, movies, and TV. I don't always pay attention to things like sound effects and so on.
Well, it's the kind of thing that for me, the only time I notice it is when it's obvious and bad.
Yeah, and you know what that said, I do notice certain things like the way they always make a knife make that sound when you pick it up. Exactly. And those kind of sounds that you notice, but you hear in everything.
Every time you move a gun, it makes a cocking sound. Like you're cocking it.
And every time you drive away in a car, the tire's squealing trying to drive
That's right. And every time you go over a jump, you want to yell yeehaw, just like the test. That's really cool.
No, it should be. They should put a good yeehaw in everything. Yeah, man, we're going to
Good times.
So the awards for the motion picture, the Golden Reel Awards will be presented on February 20th.
How many years do you think it'll be before nobody knows what a reel is?
Oh, we're almost there.
We all know what a reel is, though.
I suppose we might be getting close.
Do you think your daughter will know what a reel is when she grows up?
I don't know, she's 4 now, so probably not. I mean, she won't really. You know what? It depends on how these children are raised. I mean, a lot of kids today won't really know what a record is. But my kids will, because I got records in the house.
For now.
Well,
Aren't you going to, I thought you were going to start project to digitize all of it.
No, kind of an endeavor that
It
is.
would take a while, but you can do
I'm
it.
going to do my CDs first, I think. Yeah, and then maybe on the records. But still, I will educate her as to what those are. I can educate her to some of the past technologies of filmmaking.
Her kids will have no clue.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't think so.
They won't know what CD is, DVD, album, 8-track, cassette. It's all gone.
It's all gone. All right, the next night news. The next night news item we have is a big time rumor that's been out there for a couple of
Rumor.
months. So we almost did a show last week just so we could talk about this rumor. It's such a big one, and that is that people are speculating that a video game based on The Walking Dead is imminently going to be announced. Not coming out, but be announced.
Right.
So apparently Telltale Games is set to announce 5 new multi-platform projects during a formal event in San Francisco on February 17th. The invitation says that among them, one is based on a just launched property from the TV and comic book world whose popularity is changing life as some know it. So the sense kind of goes weird at the end there. But what other TV and comic book properties could there be? And this is so people read that like, well, it must be The Walking Dead. It's popular. It's popular on TV and in the comics.
Yep.
People love it. It's changing life as some know it.
Especially the characters on the show.
Yeah. So I mean, what else could it be? There are some other superhero type TV shows right now. For example, the Family one, Unusual, what's that called? With I don't know. Not Modern Family. It's something else.
Modern Family's comedy.
Yeah, it is. But there's that one and it's Cape that's coming out.
Oh,
Or it has. Is
yeah,
it
I watched a couple episodes of that. It's yeah, it better improve.
I watched the first 10 minutes of the first episode and it didn't really do it for me. So there are a couple other shows on there that are superhero. That doesn't make them comic book related
That's
necessarily.
true. We have Why the Last Man. That's Tom Cookie.
It is, but that's not a TV show.
No, but it's a great TV show.
I haven't read it yet, but I do plan on reading it. And I believe it is option for a movie.
Oh, good.
Right.
That'd be really good.
So I'll take your word for it. That's awesome.
I wish I would move. Just know it.
The beef. You know, I can see that. I read the first issue. It was free on.
We directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Sorry, Shia LaBeouf.
You know, there's worse things. Really? Well, I'm not trying to
Really?
He's not my favorite, but I'm one of the few people that still doesn't absolutely hate M. Night Shyamalan.
Everybody does worse than last. The beginning was great. I like Signs. I even could stand The Village. After that, I couldn't.
You know what? I liked Lady in the Water more than the Village.
I couldn't.
And I left Ozark. Nobody liked Lady in the Water. And I never saw the next one about the trees that go crazy or whatever
I
it is.
did. That's horrid.
Yeah.
Horrid.
What's that called?
I don't know. Dumb Tree Go Crazy movie.
Yeah, sure.
Trees are mad humans. Humans die. There you go.
Well, yeah. I don't think he's that terrible so far. And you should see Devil, the one that he produced. Yeah, people stuck in the elevator, one was the Devil.
Oh, yeah.
That was, I expected it to be Total Garbage, it was a lot better than that. So.
A lot better than Total Garbage.
Yes, exactly.
Resounding.
Exactly.
What's that word for? I don't know. Anyway.
So Telltale Games is the company that apparently is going to announce this Walking Dead video game, if it is in fact a Walking Dead video game. To give you an idea who they are, they developed recently Back to the Future episodic game, Sam Max and Monkey Island, popular video games over the years. And yeah, like I said, they specialize in kind of episodic games, it seems, where they release it in parts. Back to the Future is coming out in 5 parts, released over a 5-6 month period, which is kind of cool.
I like that kind of idea for games.
It's for PC and Mac. I might check it out because I watched the trailer, went to their website after reading the story, and it looked kind of fun. It has real voice actors.
Oh, yeah?
At least Doc Brown, and it really sounded like Michael J. Fox. So if it's not him, it's an excellent voice imitator. Voice like, sound like. So let's talk about this. What do we think about a Walking Dead video game?
You know, I'm not really sure. It depends on the style of game that it's going to be. Like, it's not going to be a first-person shooter. That's kind of silly.
You would think so, but I mean, I wouldn't rule it out necessarily.
If I saw it as a first-person shooter, I'd rule it out.
Yeah, I don't think I would play it. That's not the kind of Concord TV show is, right? I mean,
it would have to be something along the lines of Alan Wake. You know that game? Nope. It's not really a first-person shooter. It's more of a kind of a thriller mystery kind of game. It's not really action-oriented. It's not really a role-playing game. It kind of fits in between these kind of things. And it's a very stylized, moody kind of murder mystery type thing. And I've played a few reviews of it. But I don't know, RPG, I don't know if this would fit because an RPG kind of implies doing quests for people, and I don't know if that would fit in this kind of world because there's not a lot of people.
and developing your character and skills and leveling up and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Which I couldn't see as part of this, right?
First-person shooter. I don't think I could see the whole point of a first-person shooter is to get better guns and to fight the bosses. There are no zombie bosses.
No. So Grand Theft Auto, open world type game.
That could be.
You know,
sandbox.
So, but what is it? So let's assume you play as Rick Grimes.
Right.
You're plunked there in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. Maybe there's a level at the beginning where you have to escape the hospital or something like that.
Yep.
And then does the game follow the storyline loosely, or are you just jump in this world and you explore on your own? You run into characters that may or may not be from the comic TV show, and just take from there. Is there an actual plot line to this game?
You know, this is not about. I like the idea of sandboxing because the choices you make in dialogue have a great impact on the relationship you have with these characters, and that is very much The Walking Dead. You know, some characters they meet and they kind of get along and say, hey, okay, let's band together and do stuff, and other characters just basically, no, I'm going to shoot you, and you're going to shoot me, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. But I don't know if I see a storyline playing out here. They have to write a new story for it, I think.
Well, they would.
You know,
I don't think they stick to the storyline. How boring is that? They could just do a tech-only adventure and be done with it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so they have to write a new story. How do they incorporate Lori and Carl and characters like
I don't know
that?
if they would.
Okay, now leads me to my next question. Maybe we put all these existing characters aside and you start as a new character, and you're just a guy in an open zombie world, and that's where the connection to The Walking Dead ends. Maybe.
That's not a bad idea. What's the name of the guy that Rick shoots in the fence? The police officer. I forget his name now. He shoots through the fence after Tim Morgan.
Officer, I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
play him.
that's unfortunate. I'm starting to forget things. It was
I
like 2
know.
months, and the news has slowed down, and I can't remember characters. I gotta make sure I stay up on it.
Well, anyway, you play Sam, and then maybe sometimes you're a zombie, sometimes you're not.
Okay, so play as the zombies maybe.
Well, yeah, you could very well be a zombie. I don't know how boring that'd be. Wander around,
Well,
another zombie.
shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
Oop, game over.
Because that's what happens according to the TV show. If they shoot you in the face.
You're right. That's right. You don't just get shot in the leg and have to crawl for a while. Okay, so Walking Dead video game. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm entirely on board.
It'd be difficult to capture the mood of the comic book and the TV show.
The mood and the feel and sort of the just general aesthetic of it would be tough to do and relate it on that level. You're right. So I don't know. I mean, I'm all for sort of an open world zombie apocalypse game. There's lots of games out there already that have zombie type monsters in them. Almost every game where you're shooting
There's
monsters.
a massive multiplayer online game. How boring that'd be. There'd be people everywhere.
Well, yeah, there'd be people everywhere and zombies everywhere.
Yeah, it's not like you're just wandering through the world with zombies. There'd be like other players everywhere.
Right, but see in that case, what would happen is if it was popular, it would grow into whatever the players make it, right? Because they're interacting with each other in the game, so they probably introduce a some sort of monetary system,
Yeah, crafting system.
crafting and all that. So people use that and create their own game.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a zombie apocalypse, and I'm a pie maker. Okay, that's what I end up doing. I'm making pies and telling other people to eat and use it for as food so they kill zombies.
Right. And so your experience with the game would be gathering supplies, make pies like fruit and flowers.
Exactly. And this from my experience, this is what I do in the multiplayer online game.
Okay.
I chop down trees, make shields, or in this case, I make pies.
Okay, well that's fine. That would be great. But I guess the players would shape the game. If it's not MMO, you're less free to shape the game.
That's true.
So
So I make pie and Grand Theft Auto.
it's pretty hard. You can probably make a whiskey sour or something. Do you make drinks in that game? I can't remember. I know you can make drinks in Dead
People like
Rising.
darts, you know that.
Oh, that's right, darts. So in Walking Dead, you find an old abandoned pub and there's some darts. Hey, let's play some darts for a while. And then zombie walks in, throw darts at the zombie. There you go. It's the game. So Walking Dead video game. I don't know. I would definitely try it if it does come out. Put it that way.
I agree.
All right, moving right along. Recently, there was the New Orleans Comic Con, and The Walking Dead had a panel there. Now, none of the really prominent actors were in attendance, but we had Chandler Riggs, who plays Carl. He probably has the biggest role of the three people. We also had Keisha Tills, who plays Morgan's wife, and Adrian Tyler Turner, who plays Dwayne. So it sounds like it was a fun event. There were a couple hundred people at the panel. They got asked some questions, but no real new information came out of it. I don't think because there's none right now.
Nobody's in talks.
Anything that is allowed, anything that is decided, isn't allowed to be talked about yet.
So
So
they wouldn't tell the actors yet.
no, especially the sort of supporting actors too. So
Well, they're also alive. As far as we know. Well,
Morgan's wife isn't really
yeah, she's undead still. Morgan couldn't kill her.
true.
She's still kicking around somewhere.
She's walking around somewhere.
Surprise her role in season
I
2.
wouldn't say she's alive.
No, that's she's undead. There you go.
Chandler Riggs said that he looks forward to the time when Carl quote decides to grow a pair and man up.
Is that his decision? I don't know if it's his decision.
We got to assume that he's going to play a bigger role as the show goes on. Yeah, he'll be doing important stuff and have important scenes. And I guess Riggs is just looking forward to that.
As we all are.
As we all are. Turner was asked what his favorite part of the show was, and he said, "quote I was in a scene where I hit a guy in the face with a shovel." And it was pretty cool how they did it. So I guess he's talking about the scene where he hits right in the shovel.
Face with shovel.
Yeah, in the shovel. Hits right in the shovel with the face. No,
No,
in the face.
that's the wrong way to do it.
So kids are just having fun. Yeah, plumber people shovels and so on.
It's a good way to get rid of your frustration and your stress. Whack somebody in the face with a shovel.
Yeah, I don't recommend it though.
No, if you're pretty sure they're dead, it's okay.
There you go. If any of you other listening happen to be at the New Orleans Comic Con, there was any more send information or you want to tell us about, by all means, send an email in and we'll read it and read it on air probably. Gail Ann Hurd was recently at a National Association of Television Program Executives event.
Nappy.
Nappy. Who knows if they pronounce that acronym or not?
Like Nappy.
Yeah. I'm working on it. Keep going. You have another one?
No, no.
No. And she was there speaking. She's of course a producer on the show. Variety reports that she said the following things, and I quote Variety and her. Speaking to the worldwide launch of the show, Hurd said that the move was largely an anti-piracy measure. Worldwide launch of the show, having all over the world at the same time. They did that basically so it would get out as many people as they could, and people wouldn't be forced to download it or find it in other means.
I love.
Really, I can't believe that more shows and productions don't do it that way.
Well, they'll all get on board.
The biggest reason for people that I can see for downloading content is simply that they have no way to access it. That's not the only reason. Lots of people who do have TV still download stuff. It's just the way it is. But the fact that it's out there for you to see, I think it's a step in the right direction. She also apparently said that new episodes of the show would premiere in October during Fear Fest.
Well, there you go.
The weird thing about this is, it was reported by Variety, which is a reputable Hollywood news organization.
Yeah.
But nobody else really seemed to pick up on this. You'd think that if this was considered an official announcement of when Walking Dead would return, it would be all over the internet.
You think?
But it's not.
That is weird.
So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Maybe somehow this slipped under the radar, or if people are just, or maybe she was misquoted, saying we're considering bringing it back in October, but no decisions have been made.
So you think that the other news establishments went, oh, Variety said it's better check our facts. Oh, they're wrong. So we're going to publish it.
Could be. I don't know. Variety published it though in the article I read, so we'll kind of assume October is the time, but we'll see. Still can't take this as an official announcement. No, but we're getting closer every day.
There was a clip of Galen Hurd saying it. That's another thing.
I guess so. Yeah, if I could see it with my own eyes and hear it with my ears, maybe. So she also addressed whether the series creators, that would be Robert Kirkman, who produced another graphic novel, had a finite lifespan for the show with a finale in mind, a la Lost. But everything she said is that they're in it for the long haul. So no, exactly.
Oh,
So,
and that's really any question. We'll get to that later. Leave things hanging.
yeah, so they don't know where it's going, but I think that's okay. It's only been only 6 episodes of broadcast.
Yes.
We've only got one more 13 episode season coming out. They don't need anything yet.
Not yet.
They're still starting the story, right? Lost didn't announce that it was ending until after season 3, I believe. They said we have 3 more and then we're done.
Yeah.
If The Walking Dead does 3 and says we have 3 more, we're done. So be it.
You know, Lost was good because they had their story arc in place before they even started.
So they say.
So they say they did a better job with it than Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that's true.
They did. Oh, don't get me started. I love Battlestar Galactica, but there was some inconsistencies you drive trucks through in that show.
Yeah, with Battlestar Galactica, I love it too, but I'm pretty sure that even when spoilers for Battlestar coming up, everybody in case you're worried, even when Starbuck supposedly died in the final season,
Yeah.
that was the finale of the second last season, right?
Yeah, but we didn't know her fate at the finale of the last season.
And then she came back halfway through the last season, right? I think even at the end of that season 3 or 4, whatever the second last one was, I don't think even then they knew what they were doing with that.
No, they didn't.
I don't think they decided if she was going to come back, if she did what she was going to be, or how they were going to handle it. I think they really made that up as they went along at the
They really did, and I think that they suffered a lot from holy shit. How are we going to get this together and wrap it
end.
up?
Probably. Ron Moore had a lot of good ideas.
Yes, he did.
Almost too many so that he couldn't bring them all together,
Colonel Pye, he was old when he left Earth 2,000 years ago, and he was old at the end, but he knew Adama for 40 years. Was he that old when he met Adama?
Yeah, good point.
You know?
And Adama didn't be like, what?
Dude, you're old. 40 years later, dude, you're the same.
You're still old.
Get silent. Anyway,
And why would young Adama be hanging out with a weird dude? So
Yeah.
very good point.
that's the one that really gets me.
It is kind of annoying. I'll take it back on it. But hey, it was still a good show. Lost was an excellent show. It had a plan. The Walking Dead, no plan. However,
Well, I'm sure they have a plan. They have story arcs that are going to span many seasons, or at least a season or two. They're going to have stuff that lasts a long time. They don't have an ending in mind.
right, and that's kind of what I mean by no plan. But having said that, they still have the comic to work off of. So they don't need, they're not really writing their own story here. They're adapting an existing story. What they do is up for, we'll find out. But the fact that they don't know what they're going to do in season 3 doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, and they don't have to because shows like Lost and Battlestar Galactica, they had a big kind of a what the hell's going on here factor. Lost was very much what the hell's going on here. Like, the whole show was built around what the hell's going on here. Even with Battlestar Galactica, it had this endpoint in mind. Will they find her? Will they not find her? Will they silence kill them all? Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of Cylons that we don't know about yet. There was all this stuff they didn't know what was going on. So having an ending and having everything logically and morally wrapped up by the end was very important for these shows. Whereas shows like Walking Dead, it's not really that kind of format. It's more of a long-term survival thing, obviously. You survive for a while, you can end it with they all die, or they can end it with, they reach Nirvana or whatever the USS Enterprise, the big aircraft carrier, they just fly, or just kind of sail off into the sunset, but no zombies can swim, so you're fine.
So that's the thing. I can think of 2 or 3 endings to The Walking Dead that I think would satisfy me a great deal. And maybe someday we'll talk about those. Aliens is one of them.
Aliens come down, pick them up, go, yeah, your planet's screwed. Okay,
sure. No zombies where you are, right? Yeah. No, it's aliens. All right. So next, moving right along, next item here, The Walking Dead will be at the 2011 Paleyfest or Paleyfest. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know.
Paleyfest.
Sorry, Paleyfest. That's like Paleyfest, but
Paley.
I didn't know what this festival was before this news item crossed my desk. From their website, named for William S. Paley, founder of both the Paley Center and CBS. The annual William S. Paley Television Festival has celebrated television's rich and diverse programming and creative process behind the medium for the last 27 years. I think Paley is good. Let's go with Paley. Okay, roll left panel. They'll be doing a Walking Dead panel on Friday, March 4th at 7 p.m. Pacific time at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills. The panel will be announced sometime before then. So, yeah, I mean, not much to say about this other than they're doing a panel on Walking Dead. And I guess it's just talking about the television creative process and what goes into making shows. Probably for executives and stuff to mingle a little bit and shake each other's hands.
Beverly Hills.
That's right.
Everybody goes to Beverly Hills, they shake hands, they go around and get drunk, they go, yeah, we're gonna make that show, and then they go to panels and stuff.
We're gonna go do that thing.
Yeah,
Zombies and all the headshots.
Yeah, people, people.
Now, I believe this panel is open to the public. You can buy a ticket for something ridiculous, $75, and go and experience it.
Not ridiculous.
Well,
$1,500 would be ridiculous.
Okay, you're right. That would be really ridiculous. But $75 to go sit in a room for 2 hours is just, I don't know. It depends, it depends what you're sitting in the room for, I guess. But if anyone out there in Los Angeles is going to this and would like to file a report for us, please contact us, and we'll see what goes on at the Paley Fest. Yes, exciting. FXUK, the British broadcaster of The Walking Dead, did an interview with Noah Emmerich, who plays Dr. Jenner. He had lots of interesting stuff to say. It was a short interview, but everything he said was fascinating. I'm going to read a couple quotes here. He said, on making Walking Dead, the pages would come in the night before we were shooting. Frank was sort of doing his brilliant tinkering with the dialogue and script right up until the very last second. And he's obviously a brilliant writer and working with great source material that leaves the actors with very little time to absorb it. So Frank was working on stuff, apparently, right up to the time of shooting almost. The night before.
That's good. He wasn't a writer's strike. That's the script shows in writer's strike. You couldn't work on pages at all. No, you either shot them as written or don't shoot at all.
But is it a little bit control freaky for him to be like making tweaks and tinkering with the script the night before?
Well, I don't know.
You know,
He wasn't letting other people do it because he wanted to do it. That's control freaky. That's tinkering because you want to tinker.
changing a word here or there, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it seemed to work out because the dialogue was okay on the show. You know, the issue with it, nothing's major. Jenner also says about playing a scientist. For me, in order for that stuff to have any sense of truth to it, you do have to understand what we're saying. I'm not one of those people that can just say words. Some people can, but I'm not that good an actor to do that, so I need to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's kind of exciting. It just means you want to go and figure out what the brainstem does and, you know, maybe mix the chemicals and test tube before you actually go on set.
I can just say words.
Okay. Yeah, you're just saying words right now?
I can just say words without actually knowing, having a connection to the brain that's actually making the words go.
Do it.
I just did. Did you hear what I was saying?
Making the words go.
Yeah. I just did the speech center just go without actually any higher brain function whatsoever. It can trouble sometimes.
Sure.
Other times it's very entertaining.
Yeah, we have any higher function brain.
John Kennedy did that too. He could just go on a string of random words. Just press go in the speech center. Like,
How does that benefit you as a human being?
oh, it doesn't. Well, actually, it has to do with, for me, what I can do is I can formulate a half a thought and then send it off to the speech center, let it deal with it while I'm thinking about something else. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
It's quality multitasking on the part of your brain.
Yeah, a lot of times, you have that formulated half thought, you send it off to the speech center starts battling with that idea of how it's in my hand, and then the higher brain function doesn't get back to the speech center, so the speech center just kind of goes off on a tangent, and we've all experienced that with me speaking on the show.
That's why I have you here.
That's right. Who knows what I'm going to say next?
Who knows?
Not even me.
So if you want to read the rest of that interview with Noah Emmerich, head over to walkingdead.fxuk.com and find it there on their blog. It's pretty good. Sarah Wayne Callie was talking to TV Guide, and she had a few things to say about season 2. Yeah, now again, we don't think the actors really know anything at this point, seeing as they're still working on it, but she said the new 13-part run will focus on the repercussions of Dr. Jenner's whispered words to Rick. Your wife is pregnant. Your wife is pregnant. She said Jenner took blood work, and it's possible, maybe, he told Rick something about what he saw in his wife's blood work. She speculated. I'm kind of basing that on the comic. Your wife's a lich. I don't know. She finished with. So, you know, I thought about not including this because she really doesn't say anything. But the fact is,
speculating with the rest of the internet. Your wife is pregnant.
yes, she's read the comic. She knows what's coming. I mean, we all know that's what it's going to be, right? I'm quite certain.
I want to have something to do with aliens. I decided.
Don't worry about the zombies. The aliens out there. The aliens are coming next week.
Yeah. Let's go with the X-Files. The truth is out there.
Yes, there you go. Finally, she said, talking about getting the part. She said, I read the script and I went to the audition. Then I went to my car and started crying. I thought I'd never get this, and then they cast me. I've been happy ever since.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that nice? That's great.
Well, pendulum must have been.
Seriously.
I'm sad. I'm happy. I'm driving. I'm crying. They call me. I'm laughing. Yeah, I've been happy ever since.
Well, I'm glad to know she's happy ever since.
That's been a year. She's been happy for a year. That's awesome.
Hey man, I was casting The Walking Dead. I was an actor and I did that sort of thing for a living. I'd be happy too.
That's a long time to stay happy.
It's true. It's true stuff. Yeah.
Stubbing toe. And I love Stubbing Toe. I did that TV show. I love it so much. Stubbing Toe is a great thing.
Hey, maybe it is that good. I don't know. So she's speculating about season 2 as we all are, but we know that the whisper that she's pregnant. No big deal there. Finally, in the news this week, Image Comics is releasing The Walking Dead Survivor's Guide. All right. So it's a 4-part comic they're putting out, and it is apparently, quote, everything you've ever wanted to know about the cast of The Walking Dead. The Survivor's Guide is a handy checklist of all characters who have appeared in the series thus far, alive or dead. The series is a supplement to the comic book series that is now a TV series on AMC. Stop saying series.
Wait a minute. Okay, so this series is a supplement to the comic book series that is now a TV series on AMC TV. Right. I don't understand what this thing is. Is it a supplement to the comic book?
It is a 4-part comic book style release that is essentially a character guide to the comic.
Character guide to the comic, not character guide to the TV series.
I believe it's character guide to the comic. So all the comic book characters in there, their status, and information about each one.
Everything you ever want to know about the cast of The Walking Dead. You don't have the comic book.
Okay, you're right. It's extremely confusing.
I don't know what this thing is. It's releasing 4 parts of something.
It's 4 comic books. It's coming in April. It's first one on April 13th, and it is a character guide to something.
Yeah.
So we'll find out in April.
So Survivor's Guide is a guide of, oh, I see what it is. It's not how to survive. It's a guide to the survivors so far.
Yeah, but it also will tell you if someone is now dead. It'll have character stats. So the stats will be living, deceased, or undead,
Or
unknown. That's right. Left. You don't never seen
Left under a tree. Probably undead.
Right. Or like in the comic, the guy who runs the other person. What's his name? One of the just runs off. We don't know what his status is.
That's true.
So there you go. That's coming out on April 13th. We'll check it out and find out what it actually is. So that's it. That's it for the news this week, everybody. We do have a little bit of listener feedback. How about I read that for us? Sure. This comes from Robert in Houston. He says, when Merle is stuck on the roof talking to himself, he is clearly recounting an argument with a fellow soldier, basically saying, if you don't like what I'm doing, then we can hash it out now, or you can be a pussy and take it up the chain of command. He ends up knocking the guy's teeth out and being court-martialed. Also, when Daryl is celebrating CC, he yells, "Booyah!" Usually a term of excitement among U.S. military personnel. I wonder if the brothers were in the military at the beginning of the apocalypse. That would be a great backstory.
I'm trying to think of the length of their hair. Because if it's been a couple of weeks, their hair would be a certain length. If they were not in the military, their hair could be very long.
Merle's hair was pretty short, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Daryl too, I think. But now, how short do people in the military have to keep their hair? Buzz right short. That's the rule.
So when we're in hands and stick out.
Okay. So I think at least Daryl probably had too much hair growth for a couple of weeks.
I'm not thinking.
But you know what? Maybe they hadn't been in the military for some time. And Robert Houston also does say that Merle was court-martialed for knocking guys' teeth out. So he might have been in the military for a while. Right active duty.
That's true. Well, I don't know. I'm not discounting the fact that they were in the military. I think that's entirely possible. I just don't think that they were necessarily in the military at the beginning of the apocalypse.
So they weren't part of the human resistance, for lack of a better term.
That's right.
Because that would be cool.
It would be
If we found out we got some backstory or some flashbacks to them actually, fighting the zombies right at the beginning of the war, that would be fun.
That would be fun. So I would need somebody like that. I don't think it's Merle, and I don't think it's Daryl, but I would like to meet somebody like that. All right. And they probably would be carrying their assault rifle from that time instead of a crossbow.
True, but I mean, proficiency with weapons is something you gain in the military.
Not a crossbow.
No?
They don't train you on crossbows anymore.
But being trained on a rifle, for example, would that not make it easier to learn a crossbow?
What do you think?
Like, I don't know if I could do anything with them, except probably shoot myself. What's this do?
Bang.
So maybe I think it's an interesting idea. I think it would be fun to explore that a little bit if indeed they were military. Right. Robert goes on to say that Jenner claims that there's nothing left of the person when they change. However, when I observed the MRI scan, I definitely saw some red sparks shoot into other areas of the brain other than brainstem.
Yep.
Also, he killed his wife before he even had a chance to observe her zombie behavior. My conclusion is that Jenner only said what he said out of ignorance and denial. So I think he has another good point. I mean, the fact that they, when they were watching the video of the X-ray video of his wife reawakening, that bullet goes through pretty soon after.
Well, he's obviously upset at that point.
Obviously, he just wants to get it over with, but he really should have tied her down and further studied a little bit.
He may have done that with other people.
That's true.
He didn't say that was the only person that became a zombie. That was just T19.
Yes, true.
So maybe just what happened to the other bunch of people, TS18, for example. What happened to TS20?
I guess we don't know that, but I see Robert's point here that he kind of, you see little sparks of something possibly going on, but then it's just over before it even begins.
Right, that's true.
So, I don't know. I still hold that it seems like there is some sort of past life recognition in these zombies a little bit. Yes. And I know that we debated whether or not this is actually true. I think it is. I think there's something remaining there. I think Amy saw something from it. And I think Morgan's wife had some latent sort of repressed memories in there.
I would agree with that.
So, anyways, it'll be interesting. Who knows if we can get any more explanation as the show goes on about the zombie, about how the zombie disease works.
Probably not.
I don't know. They get more than I thought they would in the first season. So
They sure
you
did.
never know.
Yeah.
Robert finishes simply with I wish I was in Canada.
He obviously doesn't know how cold it is.
That's, oh my god, that's right. And then the next where we are next 2 days is supposed to be a crap load of snow coming. So Robert Houston sounds pretty good to me right now.
Yeah. So I'm working from home the next few days, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's good because you won't want to go outside.
I'm not going
Anyways,
Nope.
so there you go.
Got enough food to last the weekend?
Or
Done.
your wife has to go out though, right?
Well, she has to go work and just walk to the subway from our place is like 40, 50 steps, and then she's underground the whole way, all the way to the office. She doesn't have to go outside either, really, barely. So we're good.
She doesn't have to put on pants on like you.
Yeah.
I'll wear pants in the best. But that's a whole other podcast.
I get dressed.
Unless she leaves and then,
No, I don't feel like I'm actually working unless I have a shower and get dressed and ready to go.
I'm not sure. I never worked at home for an extended period, so I don't know.
I don't like it very much.
Well, the one few times I have done, I liked it. So, all right, and that is going to do it for episode 38 of The Talking Dead. Lots of new